What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? We are back with another video. Listen, trying to get it in today, trying to get it all the way in today, y'all. Trying to get this news in. Yesterday, we were celebrating the birthday and news was just popping off left and right. And I actually tried to do the story last night before I started, having a little drink to celebrate, but we didn't get a chance to do it. So we're gonna cover it right now. And I'm kind of glad I waited because we got an update from Royce Reed with regards to this whole situation as well. First things first, let me know if you guys can hear me well. I feel like there's a little bit of a lag, but let me know if you guys can hear and see me clearly. Just give me a yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can see you in the chatterization if you guys can, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Patricia says yes. Also, let me know where you guys are watching from. Yeah, Honey Bella, I was gonna do this one first, but the Tamar Braxton situation popped off, and I still need to find a chance to review Marriage Boot Camp and try to review Real Housewives of New York. It's so much going on, y'all. So much going on. Okay, yes, you guys can hear me and see me clearly. So we'll go ahead and get this thing started. So EVELYN Lozada is in the news again, y'all. Okay, so let's break it all down and let's talk about how this whole situation started. And then we're going to get into what she had to say. We're going to play that. And then we're going to talk about what Royce Reed had to say in response to it. So like I said, I'm kind of glad we waited because I could gather more information and see what everybody else in the streets was saying. You know what I'm saying? Happy Friday to everybody who is joining the chatterization. Thank you guys for watching wherever you are watching from. Now let's get down to business. Side note, I'm still slightly hungover from last night. Anyway, let's get down to it. Now, it all seemingly started with this tweet right here, okay? So, essentially, Chad Johnson responded to a fan, okay, who was asking a question. So the fan said, "What's the secret? How do you stay so positive? Was it therapy? Not being funny, really asking for myself," right? So when the fan asked this question, he responded. He says, "I lost my temper for once in life for 3 seconds, and it cost me a lifetime's worth of work. I got all back plus some after getting a second chance, and nothing will ever get me out of that happy space again." Okay. Now, I didn't see the tweet when it initially happened, so I don't really know what the vibe was. But apparently, people were coming at EVELYN and responding to her based on what he tweeted, okay? And they were basically saying that she ruined his life. Now, I didn't see evidence of this, but she says that that's what she was getting in her, either in her comments or in her inbox, DMs, or some kind of way people were dragging her for ruining this man's life. Now, I don't condone physical violence, or any type of stuff like that. I don't condone any type of abuse towards women in any way, shape, or form. Like that's number one off the rip. But I'm assuming he was responding to the fan who said, "Listen, you could lose everything in the matter of 3 seconds." And people do need to definitely recognize that. So, I think maybe that was the lesson that he was trying to say, but for EVELYN, she's like, no, this is not the case. It was more than once. She had a whole lot to say. I mean, she had tweeted about it, not tweeted. She had put in her IG stories that there was much more to it than what everybody saw, and that it happened more than once. That was the big revelation, that it happened more than once. So I want to show you guys exactly what she had to say, and then we're going to review what Royce Reed had to say in response to that. So let's get into the video.
Hey, so I wanted to, respond to a few things. A few weeks ago, I was actually going to, discuss certain things and decided not to. But I think today is, the perfect time to address things that are on my heart. I woke up today to Chad's comment, and as much as I told myself that I wasn't going to respond because it's not the first time that he's made this comment, I'm just tired. I'm really, really tired. And for this man to sit up there and say that, he lost his temper for 3 seconds is infuriating to me, and as much as I'm trying to heal from this situation I've been dealing with this shit for years, not only because I'm on a show, just everything is just so public. So, as much as I'm trying to heal from this, it's messages like this, it's tweets or whatever the hell it was that are triggers for me. Okay. And, for this man to say, it was one incident, 3 seconds of his life, he lost everything. And then what happens? It affects, people read this on social media and then are coming at me talking about, oh, you made this man lose his job. It's like, if you're going to speak the truth, I want you to speak the truth as to what the situation was. Okay? It wasn't the first time. It wasn't the first time. And one of the things that I'm always going to do is I'm always going to live in my truth. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's ugly, I'm not going to let anybody take away my fucking truth. Okay? And put this perception out there for a pity party as if you made one mistake, and I'm trying to move on from this, but as a victim, how am I supposed to move on? And I'm not looking for attention. I was at home, I'm minding my own business, and then I have to deal with this. And it's hurtful to me. It's hurtful to me because I know my truth. And I have never discussed anything else that has ever happened other than the incident that people know. Because I always was concerned about his kids and our kids and always having to relive this. But you can't make comments like this and expect for nobody, especially me, that I'm on the other end of this, to feel how I feel. Okay? And then when it comes to, Basketball Wives, I know that people, tend to connect, my character on this show with what happened to him. And I understand that to a certain degree. I get it. I take full responsibility. I know I'm the one on this show. I'm the one that hasn't been the most positive person. I know I'm the one that has made us look bad. And I'm sorry. And I understand that I didn't always handle things the right way. I am, and I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed, and I'm embarrassed sometimes for my family because, this is a forever thing, and, but the person that I am on Basketball Wives and who I am as a mother and how I've been in my personal relationships, whether it be with Carl or Chad, are two totally different things. And what happened to me that day and other days, I didn't deserve that because I've always been a good woman. I've always been a great mom. I have always been a great stepmom. And for this man to make that comment today, more than one occasion, I have ignored this several times because I don't want to argue. I want to move on from this situation. It's a trigger for me. And I apologize to just the world and everybody just for not being the most positive person when you were watching the show and sitting in the house and maybe saying certain things and maybe at the time it was funny and it wasn't. Because of everything that's going on, I know I have to do better. So I apologize for that. And for anyone that is dealing with domestic, you don't let nobody, when I tell you, you don't let nobody take away your truth. You don't let nobody make you feel like you're wrong for being honest and speaking up about something that happened to you, okay? Let me be an example because I refuse to let social media, I refuse to let the world attack me because I have always been honest about this situation. I have never lied about not one detail as to what happened to me. So I'm going to leave this video here, and I'm sorry that I'm so upset. It's just that this is a lot for me, and I just want to heal, and I just want to move on from this situation. So if we're going to speak about this situation, we could talk about the truth. We could be honest, and we could talk about everything that happened if you really, really want to discuss it. But if you don't, then don't say nothing.
All right, y'all. So that was EVELYN's response to the entire situation. And when it was posted on social media, that Royce Reed had some things to say about it. She posted "Man Down," and got that. We got that from our friends over at Basketball Wives T. Now I'm gonna play you guys what Royce Reed actually had to say in response to EVELYN. Okay, I want you guys to watch this. Thank you, Mike J. I appreciate you. Give me 1 second, guys. Here we go with Royce Reed. And I apologize for the sound. I had to try to edit out some of the background noise that she had going on, but here it is.
My number has not changed since I stopped filming Basketball Wives. Therefore, I feel as if a certain person wanted to apologize, as they did in their caption for the world to see. Before you do that, or along with that, shouldn't you reach out to the people you're apologizing to? Which is why I think it's bullshit. And I don't see anything wrong in someone admitting a fault that they had and a mistake that they made, and learning from it and moving on and becoming something. I don't continue to wish for someone's demise that has done me wrong. I want them to accept it. I want them to take the consequences for it and then move on. That doesn't mean that they need to be in my space.
Thanks for the super chat, y'all.
At all. But it just means that people have to take consequences for their actions, and I feel as if he took consequences for his actions. I am not condoning anything that he did. I was taught that if you act like a man, be prepared to be treated like a man. However, that does not mean what he did was okay. And I'm saying that because before someone goes back and pulls up a comment that I made before, which was that, and says that I am condoning something, I am not. I am just saying that is what I was taught. And I believe that he has apologized. I believe that he has admitted that he made a mistake for whatever reason it was. And I'm not going to continue to beat somebody down to the ground and hope that they just never become something of themselves. I don't do that.
Thank you for the super chat.
Especially in our culture, it seems as if people pray for people's demise and do not want them to become anything after a mistake. I'm not that person. Therefore, I think that it is okay for him to make the statement that he made. It wasn't anything, I believe, that was derogatory towards her at all. I think that he was stating his truth, just like she lives in her truth, whatever that is. He made a statement that was living in his truth. He admitted what he did. He didn't sit here and say that he was provoked or anything. He didn't say anything about what happened. He stated his part and said that he made a mistake. And he did something that lasted 3 seconds. And that's just like someone shooting someone. A gunshot takes less than 1. Okay? So he is admitting that he lost his temper for 3 seconds and did something that completely ruined his career. He is admitting that. He is not blaming anybody. He didn't say anything in that comment or caption or whatever, tweet or whatever. He didn't say anything like that. All he said was that he made a mistake and he paid the consequences from it. And he overcame it. What the hell is wrong with that? I don't understand. What is wrong with that? Can somebody please tell me what is wrong with that? To continue to sit here and beat somebody down and wish hell on them and whatever else, to me, it's just wrong. especially when it's coming from someone who has made so many racist statements and has never apologized for them. And at least has not ever apologized for them to the people that she made them to. I am not going to sit here and like be right alongside of someone who tried to fight me more than once, who has thrown glasses at people, who has called people cockroaches and ling and just dirty and bottom of the barrel and talked about food stamps. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. Because until that same person apologizes, we can't move on. I'm the person that has to address the past in order to move on to the future when it comes to situations that are that deep and you've never addressed them. So you're not going to play victim when you've done shit yourself that has been a little far worse, especially in the day and age today. Because what we were doing was filming a show, and people ran away from that show because of Black Lives Matter, when what the fact was, we were addressing situations that happened in our past, and we were trying to prove the fact that we learned from them and grew from them as women of color. But some people couldn't address that as a woman of color because they were the ones who caused most of the problems, and they never wanted to address them. And they didn't want to face you all. So they walked away from it. So the show that we were filming is no longer airing because of that. So with that being said, I am now going to exit myself from this live, and we can move on. Got it? I'm going to go play Just Dance with my child and continue to look like I'm in my 20s without makeup. Bye!
All right, so there we have Royce Reed making a statement. I kind of want to address a couple of things. One, again, anytime a man puts his hands on a woman, I think it's horrible. I think it's bad. And I think he needs to be held accountable for that. And he was at the time, right? So we dealt with that issue. Then, he faced the consequences and he was held accountable. He lost everything as a result of that. And so I think that there has to be a time period. Again, it was an awful thing that he did, right? But I think we also have to allow people the opportunity to grow, because otherwise we hold them hostage to who they used to be. Even if you look at yourself, you and me and you, we are not the same people that we were last year. We're not. Point blank, period. For a lot of us, we are choosing to grow and elevate and trying our hardest to do so. When someone brings up an instance from our past, it is harmful to us, but because it holds us hostage to who we used to be, right? And so if we're trying to move forward, we have to allow that person the opportunity to grow. Now, the second issue is that does not take away the damage that is done when someone is abused, right? And so in this statement, I agree with you, LaCoya. She needs to go back to therapy, because obviously something that he is doing and then the fan reaction is triggering for her. And as a celebrity and in this limelight, and for someone to be still on the show, she's going to have to learn how to deal with that feedback, because whether it's positive or negative, it really doesn't have anything to do with her. At this point in time, the only thing that she can control is what she does moving forward. How he describes the incident, what he thinks about it, what he says about it, it doesn't matter to her, because her recovery from that situation is what should be of the most importance. And since it is still triggering to her, I think it would do her well to go back and continue that therapeutic process in order to figure out how to maneuver through this situation, so that these types of statements that he might make don't trigger her in a direction or another. And then the next thing that we want to deal with is the intermingling of her character on Basketball Wives with what happened to her in her personal life. At the end of the day, when we're talking about any type of abuse and putting hands on another person, the things that she has done on Basketball Wives are when we look back at those actions, they're horrible. You know what I'm saying? They're completely horrible. And so as she mixed those two issues in together during her statement, it's very difficult for a lot of people to receive what she's saying, because as Royce pointed out, she has not gone back to those individuals privately to make those apologies. And when you make those public apologies, they feel empty to the people who you have not apologized to. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, there does need to be a moment of resolution that comes in where she does sit down and talk to those cast members and address those past issues that they have with her, address the wine and bottle throwing, address all of those things. And in that respect, she needs to be held accountable just as well, because those were also incidents against her own sisters. You know what I'm saying? Against, you know, other women of color. And she needs to have that moment of accountability. And because she hasn't had that and she hasn't addressed those individuals on any type of level face to face that anybody has seen, or even to those cast members, there's still that lingering issue of, but girl, you're also doing the abusing to other women. Okay, so there's that aspect. Then there's the also confusing aspect of, you know, we see her, and I believe her tears are real. I do. I believe she's genuinely traumatized in some way, shape, or form, but she also has to recognize that she has done some traumatizing herself. Okay, so with regards to that, though, it's confusing because when we see her on the show and she wants to reap a couple of things that she did this season that make us really confused. One, you know, obviously it was really important for her to do the scene with Chad's daughter, which was okay. That was cool. But that lets us know that y'all have some type of, like, you're cool. You're in some way with the family, right? And then you felt okay reaching out to him to get information with regards to what his relationship was with OG. So you felt comfortable enough to continue talk about this man. And then two, in the interviews leading up to, or either it was on the show, I cannot remember which, but when she was asked about which one of her exes she would call first in an emergency, she listed Chad. So for a lot of us, it's very confusing why she would react this way to him saying this, which is in effect true. Even if if he hit her, for me, it's inexcusable. Again, I will say it again and again, to ever put your hands on a woman, to put your hands on anybody, but really to put your hands on our beautiful queens. That is not anything that I condone in any way, shape, or form. But I think as a viewer, it's confusing that, oh, we see that you're cool with him, and now you're reacting to him in this way. And for so long, you have kept it a secret that it happened more than once. So I would have assumed that was just something that you did to help save face for him, which is, hey, listen, if that was what you wanted to do. But at the end of the day, it's just confusing to the viewer, I feel like. And that's why I think that people are having such a strong reaction to her, you know, telling her story at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? Because he made that tweet, but he didn't say her name. He admitted to an action that caused him a lot. And he said, this is what I did to recover. We also have to let people recover, especially if you, the person involved, were cool enough with him to call him to say that he would be the person that you would call first. And if you ever needed something, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just, I think that's why a lot of people are confused. And I think that there are so many different little issues that we have to look at and dissect with this whole situation, that so many people are like, well, girl, like, I don't even know what to think. You know what I mean? It is very confusing. That's all I'm saying. You know, that's just that. But I did we had to come and talk about this. Amanda, thank you so much for listen, y'all in the super chats. Thank you so much. I was trying not to interrupt the flow of the video, but I do want to say thank you. I see them. I feel the love, and I thank you so much. I thank you so much for this. So, yeah, I mean, you know, I think those are the things that need to be looked at when we talk about this situation with EVELYN. And even as I was going to dissect the situation with Megan and Tory Lanez, and, you know, how I feel like there's even a little bit of what I feel like she doesn't want this whole situation with that also bothers me as well. But that's a whole nother situation. I'll touch on that in another video because I can't even dissect it all right now. But, you know, to any person that has dealt with any issue of this sort, you know, my heart goes out to you. And with regards to Royce coming out and sort of speaking about it, you know, it was interesting to me. I was kind of like, well, why is she chiming in? But, you know, I think that maybe because people saw her reaction, it's just, I think EVELYN has been such a polarizing figure, and I think she's done a lot of damage to a lot of other women on this show. And true enough, some of them also have done damage to each other, but the overwhelming, I think throughout the course of this series, we've kind of seen her at the center of a lot of it. I think she has some things to answer for, and it would be really nice to see those issues addressed on this upcoming season, if that's going to be something that they're willing to do. Thank you, Pam, for that super chat. I really thank you so much. Thank you, guys. But yeah, this is you hit the nail on the head right there. You really hit the nail on. She's not a sympathetic character. And that is such a great way to put this, because when we think about, and I know all of us in the chat, we love reality television, right? And we love to dissect it. We love to, you know, get ourselves all up in it. And when we think about the characters on the show, I mean, typically when we talk about antagonists, we talk about protagonists. She's definitely an antagonist in a lot of respects, because she has done so much antagonizing over the seasons, over the past years. She is not a sympathetic character. It's hard to sympathize with someone who you have watched intimidate or, you know, chase away or do specific things to other women over the course of the years. And it's like, you know, with no accountability, no remorse, you know what I'm saying? And so I don't know how she's going to continue to maneuver moving forward, but I do think that what she should do is probably stay off social media. She should probably, you know, unfollow him, make her comments, turn off her comments or whatever for a while, you know, when those types of things pop up, so that she knows that she doesn't have to deal with that anymore. But I also think there's the other issue, again, like I said, of what she's done on the show, and she needs to be held accountable, and she needs to really own up to those things. And I feel like maybe if she does that, that will really show some learning lessons as time moves forward, because people began to be sympathetic with her after she left the Iyanla Vanzant thing and the whole situation with OWN. But then she went right back into Basketball Wives and sort of right back into that unsympathetic character who is somewhat intimidating, someone who is antagonistic. You know what I'm saying? And she hasn't done the image repair that's needed in order for people to really get on the train with her. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's just my thoughts on this particular subject. I want to thank you guys so much. I thank you guys so much for tuning into the chat and joining in and commenting. I wanted to give it to you guys how I felt in a real way. And, thank you guys for commenting how you guys feel as well. With that being said, I'm going to go and try to get some rest and relaxation. If something does pop off, I will jump back on here, and I will probably try to get you guys the Love and Marriage boot camp review maybe tomorrow. Okay. With that being said, make sure you guys hit that notification bell button. I love y'all, and I will see you in the next video.